executive producer Lilian Garcia. Every athlete is on this quest. Every performer dives in head first, battling real-life challenges and overcoming obstacles in an effort to make their dreams reality. Singer, speaker, and 15-year WWE host Lilian Garcia was the first woman to ever announce WrestleMania and is now the PFL MMA cage announcer. And now she's giving you an all-access pass to the human interest stories of elite athletes, extraordinary entertainers, and wellness experts. Now, let's embark on another fascinating journey of chasing glory with your host, Lilian Garcia.
Welcome, everybody. It is Chasing Glory, and where in the globe am I? I'm home. That's where I am. The Chasing Glory studio. I'm so excited because, as you may know, if you have followed the show, I have been on the road kind of continuously. It's been awesome. It's been great. I have met a lot of you out there, which is my highlight, really is. But it was time to come home and get back into the studio. The studio missed us big time here in Hollywood. That's right. Yeah, we've got a big show, but I also have a big announcement, guys. This is the second to the last show for the entire year. That's it. We are going to close the doors for the last 2 weeks of the year because, like I tell you guys, balance is important. Well, balance is important for myself, for my family, and also for my staff. So I decided that we were going to enjoy the holidays and not be frantically trying to put shows together and then also promoting. And, it's the same thing I tell you guys. Go ahead and chill out over the holidays. But if you do get bored, you can go back and listen to over 100 episodes of Chasing Glory. That should keep you busy, okay? So I don't think you will miss us for 2 weeks. We will be back in 2020. So it's this week, right now, and next week. Next week is the last show of 2019. It has been such an exciting year. It's had its highs, it's had its lows, but that's called life. And I just really want to thank you guys for following the show at Chasing Glory on Instagram, for being part of the family, for also watching the show, youtube.com/Lilian Garcia, for following me at Lilian Garcia on Instagram and Twitter, and Lilian Garcia official fan page on Facebook. You guys have been outstanding, and I'm going to talk about you here in a minute. But first, what I want to talk about is the fact that I have been traveling, as I said. As you know, I went to Full Sail. I got a chance to go to NXT, a live performance since they've been on the USA Network. Ooh, it was awesome. It was so awesome. If you guys want to know more about NXT and Full Sail, make sure you catch last week's episode with Tommaso Ciampa, because we were there in Orlando and I gave you behind the scenes look. So don't forget to go to YouTube for actually seeing the show if you want to see that visually. But if you want to hear it, that's absolutely fine too. This week, as you know, I have Toni Storm, and I'm going to be talking to you all about her in a minute, because it is a very exciting episode in the fact that she really does open up like never before. She talks about things that she's been holding in for an entire year. And that is when her photos got leaked out. And yeah, it was tough. It was really, really tough. So she finally has found a platform to speak up about it. And she wanted to be on Chasing Glory to address all that happened, and all of you that also backed her and supported her during that time. So before we get there, though, I want to tell you about something that happened to me in New York. I'm so happy I have my voice back. Guys, did you hear? I was going to sing the national anthem for the New York Jets, and unfortunately, something happened. Beyond my control, Friday when I landed in New York City, I started getting raspy. Oh my God, I started freaking out a bit. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, wait, I'm supposed to be singing in front of like 80,000 people in 2 days. And I called the doctor. They gave me a prescription. That prescription made me worse, and it wasn't necessarily what I needed. And by Sunday, forget about it. I had zero voice. And I decided to go ahead and, of course, I told the Jets the day before, and they had gotten a substitute for me, but I wanted to support her. Olivia did amazing. She did so good. I got to meet her. Such a sweet person. So thank you, Olivia, for stepping in. She was so nervous. And of course, she just got told the day before that she was going to be singing in front of 80,000 people. And that she's a sideline reporter for the New York Jets. So it's not like this is something that she does all the time. In fact, she told me she's never had a voice lesson. Crazy. She sounded really, really good. So thank you to her, and thank you to the Jets for understanding. Thank you to all of you for all your endless support. You reached out online when I posted about it, and I decided to go ahead and make it a situation. Like I always say, 10% is what happens to us, but 90% is how you react. Well, there I was, faced with it, right there at my face. I didn't like it, but I made the decision that I was just going to go ahead and just go with the flow and enjoy the game. At least I could see the game. I didn't have to talk. At least I could watch the game. And good news, big win. I think it was 34-3. Sorry, Raiders. But I think that makes about 11 times that I have been at the game. Now it's either singing the anthem or been at the game, and they've won. So I got a really good record with the Jets. All right, so next year will be my 14th time singing. I'm gonna make that happen. Okay, we'll see. I gotta go with the flow. But I wanted to tell you guys all about it. In case you are in a situation that something happens to you, it's not the end of the world. And it made me realize that singing does not define me, that I will get other opportunities. So I just had to, go with it. Roll with it, baby. I can sing again. It feels good. Okay, guys. The other thing I wanted to tell you about is the fact that I went to North Carolina and I had the opportunity to do a signing, and I was so excited because I got to meet and connect with a lot of you. I love to do those signings for that reason. Now, what you told me blew me away. So many of you talked to me about Chasing Glory and what Chasing Glory has done for you in your life and how it has picked you up in moments that you were just devastated and you felt so alone. And then you listen to these stories and you go, wait a minute. That person is going through exactly what I'm going through, and they got through it. And this is how they got through it. So I thank you for sharing those stories. And I have a very special one, and that is by a guy named Jason. He came up to me and he told me that every Monday morning he just wants to hear Chasing Glory so bad because he wants it to start the week off in a high, something that supports him for the entire week. Well, he said that he, of course, has to go to work early, and so he's not really allowed to be listening to the radio or to podcasts. So he told his boss about it, though. He said, boss, I got to hear this show. I don't know if you can give me an hour or so before and I can listen to the show. And the boss said, wait a minute, tell me about the show. Well, that sounds like something we want everyone here to hear about. Do you know that they place it in the intercom for the entire office to listen to Chasing Glory on Mondays? Yay! Oh my God, thank you. It made me so happy to think that there's an entire office listening to Chasing Glory every Monday so that you can get motivated and you can start off your week on a high. Yes! Awesome. Thank you. I wish I would have gotten the name of your business because I would have given you a shout out. But Jason, just know you've made a big difference in my life telling me about that. And also because you're bringing Chasing Glory to all your employees, you guys can do this collectively and lift each other up. Okay. Finally, the last thing that made me so excited about North Carolina is also people that came up to me to say, hey, I'm now a ring announcer for my local wrestling independent show or a bigger show because of you, because you inspired me to be a ring announcer. Do you know what that feels like for me? I had no idea that I was inspiring anyone out there to be a ring announcer. So thank you for telling me. It is something that I humbly just embrace, and I appreciate that my work inspired you guys to want to be on the microphone. Hey, don't forget, New Year's Eve, PFL. It is the championship. Tune in on ESPN2. Okay, I wasn't going to plug it or anything, but tune in. Madison Square Garden, $1 million. Given away in 6 divisions. That's $6 million. You guys don't want to miss that, right? That's before the ball drops, so make sure you join me on ESPN2 for PFL, where I'll be ring announcing. Okay, guys, I think that's about it. All right. So, I want you guys to enjoy the holidays. Just looking through, want to make sure that I got everything. Enjoy the holiday season. And like I said, Toni Storm, I thank you. I thank you for being who you are. I got to meet her a few years back, and she's just a light. She's a beautiful, beautiful girl inside and out. But she really opened up, and she not only talked about those pictures, but she talked about something that she's been holding a secret for so many years, and she finally shares it here. Guys, embrace her. It's not easy to be this vulnerable. So let her know what you think of the show. Make sure you guys go to Apple Podcasts, fill out those reviews. We will also post those on Chasing Glory on Instagram, and also they'll show up on my stories. Okay, so without further ado, here we go. Here is Toni Storm's journey of Chasing Glory. Already the world traveler, it's hard to believe that Toni Storm has over a decade in the wrestling business at only 24 years old. Born in Auckland, New Zealand, but raised in Australia's Gold Coast, Toni developed the love of pro wrestling at the age of 10 and knew very quickly she was destined to be a full-time pro wrestler. She would begin her training at the age of 13 after convincing her mother to move to Liverpool, England, so that she could attend school and pursue pro wrestling at the same time. Much of her early wrestling matches would be in front of a crowd of less than 10 people, but it helped build the foundation to her success later on. Having gotten a head start, she was able to try out for the WWE at the age of 18. And while she didn't earn a contract at that time, it left her motivated, and she would soon begin traveling the world. She would wrestle all around the globe in countries such as Germany, Spain, France, and Japan. Her acclaimed journey would give Toni the opportunity to compete in the first ever WWE Mae Young Classic. In a field of 32, Toni made it all the way to the semifinals, losing to the eventual winner, Kairi Sane. Knowing she was one step closer to her dream of a WWE contract, Toni kept competing globally at a high level before being invited to the second Mae Young Classic. After 4 grueling matches, Toni Storm would defeat Io Shirai at the first all-women's WWE pay-per-view Evolution to win the Mae Young Classic and would accomplish one of her many dreams of being a WWE superstar. Toni's momentum would continue at the first NXT UK takeover when she defeated Rhea Ripley to become the second ever NXT UK Women's Champion and would hold the title for 231 days. Toni would make her main roster debut at Survivor Series when she was part of Team NXT, and although she was eliminated, assisted her team in being victorious against Team Raw and Team SmackDown. With over a decade of accolades and only in her early 20s, the level of excitement is at an all-time high while we watch what the next decade brings for this one-of-a-kind superstar. Get fired up, because it's about to get real, raw, and inspiring with Toni Storm. Oh my God, here we are.
I'm so happy.
Oh, that makes me happy to hear that.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. What makes you say that?
Oh, you know what? I've been a fan of you for years.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I've always wanted to do the show as well. So I'm just, yeah.
Oh, that's so great,
happy.
Toni. I got to tell you that I actually have been wanting to get this interview for a year. No joke.
Yeah.
For a year. Yes. Ever since, or maybe it's even a little bit after. So I was at ringside when I watched you win the Mae Young Classic.
My God.
Amazing.
It's like a dream now, to be honest. I'm like, oh, did that even happen? That's why it's good there's like video evidence. Otherwise, I wouldn't have believed it.
Can you take me back to that night, what that felt like? The build up to that night, right? The nerves?
Oh God, yeah. Like my nerves are ridiculous already. So like for that, like it was like the biggest thing at the time I had ever done. So it was just like little old Toni just casually on a pay-per-view winning a big tournament. So I was like,
yeah. I mean, when they told you that you were going to be going over,
I didn't believe it until I was through the curtain, because I was like, if this changes,
yeah,
I'm going to be devastated. So I just said nothing and just went about it. Like, yeah. But it was honestly like the best moment of my life. Like,
yeah,
it's it completely changed me because I was like, wow, if I can do this, I can do anything.
And you'd already accomplished so much. That's what's so crazy. Like, that, reading the bios before, you appear here, it always astonishes me. Everyone's bio is like, wow, it's done this and done that and done this and done that. And a lot of people go, geez, I forgot that I did all of this until I heard my bio.
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, I did do that.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So let me, I just want to start this interview with your journey because I'm so in awe. You say that, biggest night of life. You couldn't believe that you accomplished that. And yet, here you are, getting into wrestling when you were 13?
I was 13, yeah.
That's insane.
What the hell was I doing? Seriously.
That's insane.
It's probably illegal, but yeah, I was 13.
Okay, so you were born in Auckland.
Yes.
Yes, which, by the way, I love Auckland.
It's beautiful.
Went there, went all through New Zealand, started in Australia, went through New Zealand. Obviously, I'd been to Australia with the WWE before, but I got some time after I left to really do a trip.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's so beautiful, isn't it?
Incredible.
The air is fresh in Auckland and New Zealand.
Yes.
Yeah, I miss it. I haven't been back since I was 13. So
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I did the Hobbit Town.
Oh, I never got,
Oh, you never? No.
I was I was born there and then I moved when I was 4 to Australia.
Okay.
So I didn't get much time there, but my memories of it are very fond. So
what country do you feel attached to?
Probably Australia because I grew up there. I did a lot of growing up there. But I'm very confused when it comes to where I identify myself, where I'm from, because I feel very English because my family are all from England, and then I've been living there for the past 5 years. So when people are like, where are you from? And I'm like, well, everywhere, because I don't know what to tell people, to be honest. I really don't. I feel like a gypsy, so.
It's kind of like a mutt, right?
Yeah, I'm just can I be from
mutt.
somewhere? I like it when, I'd love to be able to say I am from this place, but I can't, I don't know where I'm from.
But I think it's okay, because I was raised in Spain. So I'm American, but I was raised in Madrid. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, am I really Spanish or am I really American? But wait, I was American living in Spain and raised in Spain. But you're right, I identify with Spain because it's the first 8 years of my life. So it gets really ingrained, the customs, the tradition.
Yeah, so important parts of your life, so.
For sure.
Yeah, I get confused because when I go back to Australia, everyone's like, oh, you're from England. And I'm like, mm-hmm. And then when I'm in England, they're all like, oh, you're Australian. And I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Because your accent.
Yeah. So I don't know what I sound like to people. It confuses me more than other people.
Well, it's the same thing when I go back to Spain. They're like, well, you're not from here. And I'm like, well, I was raised here, but my parents from Puerto Rico. So I got the Puerto Rican accent mixed with the Spanish accent.
It's so confusing. I'm so glad you get what I mean.
Totally.
Because it's so confusing.
Yeah, because I'm not from Puerto Rico, but my parents were there. But then I don't have that pure Spanish, so I'm a total mix.
I'm so glad that we can bond over that, because no one gets me.
Yeah. They'll even ask me, are you from Argentina? Because apparently a Spanish accent mixed with a Puerto Rican accent is Argentinian.
Apparently, I'm from South Africa.
Oh!
That's the mix. It's like mixing colors.
Yes. That's true, though.
Everyone thinks I'm from South Africa because I'm like, no, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Just move on.
Well, it's a beautiful accent.
Thank you.
I will say.
And you.
Thank you. It's funny you can say I have an accent. I'm like, what accent?
Yeah.
And I'm sure you say the same thing. What accent? All right. So you moved. Now you at 18 though went back to England because you said I want to pursue wrestling.
Yeah.
But take me back to when you were 10 years old, when wrestling even got infused into your body, into your whole being.
It was around the time when it would be like Mickey and Trish and Lita and you, of course.
That's right.
I just fell heavily in love with it, and it was. I'll never forget the moment. My mum was disgusted with the idea of wrestling, and she was like, "Oh," she was just giving me crap one day, and she was like, "No, you're going to be like one of those wrestlers," and I was like, "Yes, I am actually." And then that was the moment I was like, "Yes, I'm absolutely going to just do this." And then I was just John Cena obsessed, Jeff Hardy obsessed, Shawn Michaels obsessed, and the first show I went to was Raw 2007 in Brisbane. So
Oh, wow.
yeah,
How crazy. I might have been there.
yeah, you were. So.
I was?
Yeah.
That's insane.
I was loving it. So
That is insane.
yeah,
Wow, to know that you were in the crowd and you're
at the back,
doing this.
the last seat.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Wow.
binoculars and everything.
So what is it about it that you absolutely loved?
I'll never know. That's the thing. Like, it's so. I was a really strange kid. I was just really no one could figure me out. I was one of those kids. So like, wrestling still to me is just something so different and out there that I was just like, yeah, no, this is me.
Okay, what do you mean by strange kid? What were we going through?
I was a bit of an outcast. Yeah, it was. I was just strange. I was a bit lonely and like, yeah, I was one of those.
Do you know why?
No. It was, my upbringing was a little different. It was my mum and my grandparents for a lot of it, and then stepfathers in and out.
Okay.
And then I moved to Australia when I was like 4, and then I was, the New Zealand kid, and yeah, I was just, I mean, it wasn't tragic childhood or anything, but it was, I was definitely like very different right from the start.
Do you think that had to do, like, when did your parents divorce? When you were...
Before I was even born.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't go through that splitting up process?
No, like I did with like stepfathers and stuff, like my sister's father and everything. There was like breakups and, mess, as you can imagine. But with my real father, like he was like nothing to do with my life.
Really?
Yeah.
To this day?
He's made contact like 2 days ago with my mum, not to me. So it's funny we talk about this because as it happens, yeah. So I'm in a bit of a...
How'd that make you feel?
Like confused, because I've for 24 years have to come to terms with the fact that I simply won't have a father in my life. But then he like pops back up and I'm like, well, this is weird. Like, yeah. So
do you want to meet him?
I think so. Yeah.
I have a lot of questions for him.
Yeah. Very confused, because there was like, he's not a bad guy. He's a good person, and I met him a handful of times and everything. But like, yeah, he was just never involved.
Wait, so you've met him before then?
Yeah, like my mom and him never had any like, they didn't hate each other or anything. Yeah. He was just never in my life, and I never quite understood it. So yeah.
So when you saw him before, though, did you ask him?
I was young. Like I didn't really understand. It was normal to me. So I just was like, well, he's not in my life, and that's that.
How long ago has it been that you haven't had any contact then?
About 9 or 10 years.
Okay.
So
now you can really process it.
Yeah. Now I'm like, like this is strange. So yeah, it's.
Did you tell your mom that he wanted to meet you or anything?
Yeah. So I'm gonna meet him soon, I guess.
You are?
I think so. I figured, I might as well. Life's too short to just wander. Yeah.
What would he need to say to you to like forgive him?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I just kind of, I guess there's a lot of like unanswered questions, but it'd be nice to like get to know him, I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's about time.
Now, I don't know if you know that many times what happens with parents, they're bringing up kids and they're not even prepared to bring up kids. They're so lost themselves.
Yeah.
That having a child, it's so overwhelming because they can't even figure out their own thing. Now, I'm not making excuses for him by any means.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of like, okay.
By any means.
Like, yeah.
But, and who knows why he's, reaching out, right? Yeah. It's heavy. I don't even know what it, like, I'm just wondering, like, what it is that you're wanting to get out of it as a father. What is it that you're needing in that?
Yeah, that's what I'm still trying to like figure out. I'm still, because I'm so used to just not having a father, and then that just being it and accepting that. So now I'm like going in complete reverse, where I'm like, oh, this is strange, this is new. So I still like, my mind still doesn't really know how to process that. But
was your mom open about it?
Yeah, she told me. She was just like, she was like, take your time. There's no like, you don't have, there's no pressure or anything.
Right.
But yeah.
Right.
But it would be nice to like understand the other side of the family, and like maybe I could learn more about myself. So
True.
Yeah.
You know what? I love that you're being open.
Yeah,
I do.
Might as well.
Yeah, no, I love that you're...
Yeah.
Because who knows if he's come to a place where he's grown up a lot himself and been like, wow, I really do want to make this work or have some kind of connection, and who knows where that goes.
Yeah.
With your stepfathers, did you ever feel like you had a relationship with them?
Kind of, but like it was... There was my sister's father where that kind of didn't really work out, and I feel like that affected me a bit. I won't go into too much detail. But yeah, no, it was... I just never kind of questioned why my real father wasn't there until recently, until I got to about 20, and I realized like, oh, there's no time to have a relationship with him now. I've grown up. Like, I guess during, like, as I was growing up, I would always be kind of like, I'd kind of be somewhat hopeful, like, oh yeah, we'll meet eventually and form a relationship. But then I got to 20 and I was like, oh, this isn't gonna happen now. I've grown up. So I've had to really accept it. And then all of a sudden everything changes because that's how life works. And
wow, you said it.
Yeah.
Maybe because you finally just accepted, relinquished all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I
Yeah.
hope the best for you.
Hopefully,
with
yeah,
that.
it goes well.
Yeah. I hope that you get what you're looking for in that, right? And just know that no matter what, his choices had no bearing on whether you're a good person or not.
Yeah.
I think that's what a lot of people do, is that they go, well, if my father didn't love me, then I'm not lovable.
That's, yeah, I feel like that had a big, like, role with how I kind of am. Because I'm a bit like I have, like, trust issues and all kinds, because I'm like, well, people just leave. And that's it. So, yeah, so maybe this, I feel like this could, you know, change things around for me a bit, and I can grow from this.
Yeah. But that's understandable why you would think that.
Yeah.
Totally, because they're supposed to be the two people that love you the most. And
Yeah.
then, get it. I totally get it. And there's been many superstars that have come on here and talked about the fact that some of them, they don't have a relationship with the father and how it affected them, and especially women, with then having the fear of getting into a relationship.
Yeah.
And then that guy goes too.
Yeah. So it just completely, like, yeah, it affects you later in life, I've come to realize.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then, like, I was okay for, like, a long time going, like, with it. I had my grandfather, who was to me my dad.
Oh, that's great.
But then I lost him when I was 12. And it was, yeah, so I'm just kind of forever stuck in that, like, headspace of, like, try not to get too attached, because, yeah.
So, wrestling.
Yeah, that's my outlet.
That's her outlet.
Yeah.
That's her outlet. So that's why it's meant so much to you?
Yeah, I guess because it's just always been there, you know, it never went away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just always had wrestling. Like, whenever something's been awful or horrible, like, wrestling. It's my happy place, so.
All right, so you start at 13.
Yeah.
So tell me, between 13 and 18, how that is before you go to the UK.
Yeah, I started in, like, a really small company. It was usually just, like, shows in front of, like, just mums and dads. And my mom, like, we struggled to, like, pay for, like, training fees and stuff like that. So she would be there at every show, every weekend, just selling hot dogs at the show to help out the company, so that, like, I could, like...
Okay, like trade, bargain, whatever she helps out, and then they let you do... Oh, wow.
So, like, I am forever, like, grateful for that, because she never had to do any of that. She gave up every single weekend. Like, she really did. For, like, well over a year. She gave up every single weekend just so that she could see me, like, happy. Because it was the only thing that made me happy. I didn't have a good time in school whatsoever. Like, school was a nightmare. The only thing that would lighten me up was wrestling. So, yeah, she made sure that I got that. So it's like, yeah, I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. So what did you learn between 13 and 18?
God, just so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey. Like, I kind of just, I started from, like, the very bottom. Like, when it was just so bad. Like, it was just, yeah, like, sometimes crowds in front of, like, 4 people, and then I just started to, I started to branch out. Like I'd go to, because I grew up on the Gold Coast, and I'd go to Brisbane to train and wrestle, and then I would go to different cities. I'd save up and I'd go and train and do shows in other cities, and just to get experience, because like there just wasn't much in Australia, and with everything and all the cities being so far apart, like it was really hard to branch out. But I was just like, this is the only thing that makes me happy, let's face it. So I just kind of put everything in that. There's never been a time since I started where I've considered anything else. It's just, always come back to wrestling.
So tell me then, why at 18 did you ask to go to England?
Yeah, my grandmother moved back to England, and I, like, obviously, like, keeping in the loop with wrestling and everything, I knew that there was like training schools around where she lived, they're like really good training schools, like All Star Wrestling Academy, and like Dean Allmark was head trainer there. I was like, well, you know, I deferred uni for a while, and then I kind of never went back. So like I did a few like short trips to the UK at first to just kind of get used to it, see if I liked it, and then eventually, like, I was literally only meant to defer uni for 3 months, and it's been like 5 years, so I guess I can't go back to that now. But
because I thought you had talked to you had asked your mom to move and begged her to move. No,
no. Wikipedia was like
you got it.
Yeah, there's
right?
like, they say that my parents were divorced, so I moved to the UK, which is completely not true.
I love it. We can set the story straight right now, right here.
God,
I love it.
Finally, yeah.
Yes.
They were never married, and like
they were never married.
No. They were together for a really long time, but then I came along, and of course, I just went, and just like I kept getting like more and more bookings for like good companies in the UK and Germany. So I was like, okay, I'll stay a few more weeks for that. Oh, okay, I'll stay. And then eventually I was like, I'm here now, I'm not leaving. So yeah.
Did you feel more at home there?
Weirdly, yeah. I felt like I made a lot more friends in the first few weeks than I ever had in Australia, to be honest. It's just, I guess, it's just like a bigger wrestling scene in the UK. So
yeah.
I just felt like I'd fit in straight away, and like people couldn't have been more helpful. Like that's another thing I'm like just so grateful for, is when I moved to the UK, there couldn't have been more people to try and help me, like just like with training, and to like, I'll help you get to this show and that show, and like there's a place to stay, and like like I felt like I was really taken care of when I first moved.
Was that important for you? The fact that you hadn't grown up with that support, or with that, you had your mother's support, but I mean in school, you said it was awful. Is that because you couldn't make friends? Yeah, school was just not fun for whatever reason. Like I just didn't fit. I was the weird kid that liked wrestling. Like nobody liked wrestling in my school, and I was kind of... You and Ember Moon. Really? Seriously. She said the same thing. She was picked on so much for loving wrestling so much. I was, just ridiculed all the time. And yeah, school was a very bad place for me, and it was awful. But then I kept skipping school, and eventually just left. Really? Did you ever finish? I left when I was 15 and went to like college and got like certificates like inequivalent to finishing high school. And eventually went to uni for I went for a year and then moved to the UK. But yeah, then I found myself in uni even though I dropped out of high school. So what's uni? Like university? Like college. Okay, yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Wow, interesting journey. And then I threw it all away to move to the UK and wrestle. But it's not really throwing it away, because you got what you needed. You got your street smarts and all of that, but you also got your education that helped with the street smarts, combine both. That's what it's all for. Yeah, it was all meant to happen, I guess. All right, so the UK, you're doing really, really well. Things are going great, or what's the struggle in the UK? Honestly, when I first moved, I had some of the best times of my life. It was... so good. And then I branched out to Japan. I spent a lot of time in Japan. I was there most of the year, from 2016 onwards. I'd done so much time there, which I had, again, some of the best times of my life. Yeah. So it's work-wise and socially, it's been great ever since I moved. I'm sure that helped you going to Japan. I mean, what did you learn there? That made me grow up, because you're just all of a sudden just shoved in a house with a bunch of other
people from like anywhere and everywhere, and having to live in a foreign country that doesn't speak English, and it made me grow up. But I had fun whilst doing it, so yeah, it made me like really grow. I had to just kind of actually look after myself properly for once. And yeah, but it was the best times of my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so how did the opportunity here happen?
I got a message one day, and
So you didn't even apply or anything?
for Japan.
From Japan to here? Like,
Oh, to the States?
yeah, to WWE.
I did a few tryouts. I did one when I was like 18 and then 20. And then I was with Progress, and we were on Access. I think that was 2017. So I guess I was on Access with Progress Wrestling, and I guess they kind of got to know me from there. And then the next thing I know, it was the Mae Young Classic, and then it was winning the Mae Young Classic, and then NXT UK sprung from it. So I'm like, it's been a different journey, but yeah.
Yeah. When you won the Mae Young Classic, how, like, right afterwards, what happened? Like, what was the NXT UK already together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I challenged for the NXT UK Women's Championship, and then
you won.
Won in January.
You beat Rhea.
Yeah.
Luckily.
My biggest accomplishment yet.
Oh, which I could see the two of you feuding. Yeah, in the future for sure. For another one. For you winning that UK championship, what was that like?
Yeah, it was pretty surreal, because like I've always like I felt like I had a lot of pressure on my shoulders, because I was the foreign girl that came to the UK, and I just want to do everyone in the UK really proud, because everyone took care of me when I moved, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to be your champion now, and I'm not going to let you down. So yeah, it was a huge honor. Yeah.
Did it get
Massive
received
honor.
well?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'd like to think so.
Well, I know that everyone was thrilled. I mean, was that another moment that you were like, oh my God?
Yeah, it was emotional. And my mum and my sister were in the crowd. So I was like, oh my God.
Aww.
Yeah, you should have seen my sister's face when she met Triple H. So, I got to see that. That was the highlight.
Oh.
Yeah.
So now, is this your blood, like your sister or stepsister?
We're half, but I never really think of her as that.
No, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. I was just wondering. Close. Because I wanted to know, does that make a difference for you? Like, when did she come into your life? How old were you?
It was around the time where I discovered wrestling, so I was about 10, 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
At first, how was that? Because now you've got a sister all of a sudden.
Yeah, it was strange, because I was just, like, I thought I would be an only child forever, and next thing, there's this clone of me there, and I was like, okay. But, like, yeah, I completely forget that it's only like a half relation, but because we're just so close.
That's
and
beautiful.
she's a good kid. She's a really good kid.
Younger?
Yeah, she's 30. She just turned 13.
Oh wow, so much younger. Yeah,
going quick.
I see. So she was kind of almost a newborn.
Yeah.
Oh, so she was. So when your parents got it, so when you had the sister, it was like straight from birth, or was it that she already came with the stepfather?
My mom met my sister's father when I was about 10, and then
got it.
By like 11, almost 12, that was my sister.
Surprise,
yeah, I was
we're having
like,
a baby.
Oh, great! I have to fight for attention now. No.
Yeah, now I get it. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, because you're a lone child, and you were okay being a lone child.
Yeah, I just kind of like that's just the way it was for me, and like I got a lot of attention off my grandparents and my mom, so yeah. And she came along.
Yeah.
But
I love that you ended up embracing her and you guys are so close.
Oh, she's the best kid. She is just a little nerd, but it's the best. Like, she's really funny and she's a really good kid. Like, I'm kind of scared she's going to suddenly because she's going into her teens now, and I'm like, I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for the switch. Where she just turns evil. But so far I've been like lucky. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. What's it meant for her to see you rise like this?
I think, like, I'd like to think I'm a bit of a role model.
Yeah.
I hope that I'm like,
showing her what hard work can get you.
Yeah, I'm just kind of being like, you can do it,
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
For you, what is it that you want to accomplish here?
I want to headline WrestleMania.
You do.
It's just always been the vision.
Yes.
So I'm like,
okay.
oh, I have to make it happen because I visualized it that many times.
So last year this year, the beginning of this year, when at WrestleMania, when it actually happened,
yeah.
how did that feel for you?
It just motivates me because every time I see it, I'm like in awe. Every Mania, I'm like, oh, God, yeah, I have to be there. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right, so tell me then, because you've had some highs, but you've had some lows this year.
Yeah. It's been a year. Oh my God.
It has been a year.
It has been a year.
And it started with...
Yeah.
Can we go there?
Of course.
It has started with some photos of you,
Yeah.
some naked photos that got leaked out. When that happened, I hope you saw that the universe went behind your back, and I mean not behind your back, but had your back,
Yeah.
and started this hashtag. We support Toni. We support Toni Storm.
Yeah.
Both hashtags were trending like crazy. Superstars coming out. I even remember that I tweeted it out.
Yeah.
So, tell me about that and what's happened and.
It was I just shut down because I noticed stuff had leaked, and I was already in kind of a bad place mentally.
Why? Before you do that?
I've always really struggled with depression,
Really?
anxiety, big time. But I've never really spoken out about it. I don't know why. There's not really any reason. I
think it's great. More and more people are sharing about it. I think we're seeing that it's out there a lot.
Yeah.
It's happening to more of us than people realize.
Yeah.
And I think it's good to speak about it. Do you know why you've suffered from depression? Is it because of the father?
I'm not sure. I don't know. A lot happened growing up. I lost my grandfather. There was all kinds of drama in the family. I don't know. By the time I was 16, I was diagnosed with anxiety, and all the medications, all that kind of stuff. Went through just hell with it. And then just kept going. Just kept picking myself up. Had a lot of ups and downs. Just in my own head. But when all that came about, I was already struggling. That wasn't what. And then eventually, I just was I don't want to know about any of this. I just deleted it. I just I don't want to face it. I just don't. So I just one day just was to hell with this. I just hid away. I just didn't want to be. I didn't want to be seen. I really didn't, because I was completely humiliated and ashamed. It was awful. And I didn't even know who to turn to. A lot of people don't actually realize how alone I was at the time. I was so isolated. I didn't want to talk to my family about this. I didn't want to put that on them. Hey, I didn't want them searching my name and seeing all that. That's so humiliating. Yeah. That was the worst part. So I couldn't really turn to my family. And I just didn't. I had good friends. I had, and they know who they are. I had really, really good friends where if I didn't have them, God only knows what would have happened. But I live far away from a lot of friends and stuff, and I was so alone. I was just completely by myself and just had to deal with all of that. And I was a mess. I was a complete mess. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to shut off, but obviously it just kept, it just kept happening, and more stuff kept getting said, and a lot of stuff, a lot of people calling me weak and stuff for not dealing with it. And I was just I'm already dealing with my own head and my own thoughts. And it was one of the worst things I've ever gone through. Now I'm in a place where I can laugh about it with friends. But it was awful at the time. And
you mentioned though that there are still some people though that have reached out and said some nasty things online. What are they saying?
They just try and just humiliate me with it. They'll send it to me and make horrible comments. They will just give me hell for I turn my comments off on Instagram because it's obviously I love the love and support that I get from fans. I appreciate it so much, but with that I get a lot of abuse, and that started happening. It started to be a lot of disgusting comments. I don't want my sister going on there and reading that and seeing those horrible things. Just like, I turn it off, and people get mad at that, and I'm like, just send me a message then, you know. Like, I love all my fans. I love all the support that they give me. It means more than they realize as well when I just get a message, and I might not get the chance to respond, but it means the world. But yeah, I get called like weak for, you know, that kind, and I'm just like, well, no, I'm not weak. I'm strong enough that I'm just putting a stop to this and I'm just blocking it out.
You said it.
Yeah.
Very smart of you. You're protecting your environment. You're protecting your surrounding. You're doing whatever it takes, because you just mentioned you're already suffering with depression, and then you stack that on top.
It's too much noise. Like, it's just too much noise. So
have you been able to process it? Do you feel this year a little bit better?
Yeah, like, I have really good friends, and you know, sometimes the best thing for me is to make a joke out of it with them, and we all just like, hey, remember when that happened? Like,
right.
But like, I don't know how I came out of that, to be honest, because I've suffered greatly with depression. I've been a very self-destructive person for a lot of years. I've been really awful to myself. Nothing to do with like the leaks or anything, but like, just, I've been terrible. And then that happened, and I was like, God, how the hell do I deal with that?
Can you share a little bit what?
Like, my history is just like the depression and the anxiety and the build up and the stress and all kinds of stuff has happened. I was a self-harmer for a very long time. Like, so.
Okay, so I just had Rhea Ripley on not long ago. I don't know if you heard her episode yet.
Not fully, only little clips.
Okay, that's fine. So, did you know that she did the same thing?
No.
Okay, so she came on the show and she talked about how she self-harmed herself as well. Yeah. I think it's good that the two of you are talking about it. I encourage you to actually speak to her now. You guys are close.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We actually are.
Yeah. I know on the show, I get it. Right. I think it would be good. She had never talked about it before she came on the show. But now you can have somebody that understands where you came from. Okay?
I've been very closed off about it. Like, I'm covered head to toe in scars. I actually am. Like, and I'm now at a place where I'm not ashamed anymore.
Good for you.
Like, I'm finally at that place where I'm just like, I used to be like, I was, you know, one of those people, like, just covering up all the time and being really like nervous and ashamed, hoping to God no one would ask and stuff like that. But now I'm just like,
good for you.
This is me, whatever. Like,
you know that she says that she actually is glad that she has the scars, and I asked her why, and she said it was because it reminds her of how far she's come. Same thing?
Yeah.
Now I want to get your perspective as to, because I told her, like, I was bulimic for years, and I know what drove me to it, and I also know why I did it, and how I ended up losing control over it. And I explained to her how, for a cutter though, I never understood it, because self-harm to me means, like, for me it's painful. I'm like, that's the last thing I'm going to do to myself, right? Like, throwing up is any better, but but at least it's not like,
it's not the most comfortable thing.
It's not the most comfortable thing. Let's just be real about it. But she explained that for her, because I asked her, why did you cut? Like, what did you get out of it? She said that for her, she was in such a dark place that she needed to see the blood to make sure she was still alive. Is that why you did it? Because she says, I don't know if that's the same for everyone.
I totally get that perspective. For me, it was like, I will hurt so much inside that, like, physical pain is easier, and it honestly is. Like sometimes I'd feel like emotions so horrible, that physical was just like, if anything, just took my mind off it and felt better. And in fact, I wouldn't even feel it. I'd be in that much of a bad state that I wouldn't even feel it. And for a long time I was so humiliated, and I lied about my arms and my ankles, and now I don't care. Like, you know, people shouldn't ever have to feel ashamed of that. Like, they never should. That's all I can say.
Good.
Sorry.
Please, no, this is beautiful because you are helping someone who's out there. The
I
same
really
thing.
hope so. If it's helped one person, then it's worth it, because no one should have to go through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure when all of this happened, can you see the silver lining at all? Now that it's been almost a year, can you see the silver lining to all of that coming out?
If it's helped one person out there, then it's totally worth it. Then I'll go through it 100 million times more if it helps another person. Because I was strong enough to get through it and move on and have a laugh at it, but sometimes people aren't as strong. And if I can help them, then, you know.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people out there that are going through stuff.
Yeah.
And all they want to do is end their life.
And yeah,
And that's exactly why I even do this show.
Yeah.
Because I'm really trying to show people out there that, you know, the superstars that you see that have made it, they're this, gone through a lot and still go through a lot.
Yeah.
But get through it, and how, right? And how I got through bulimia, how the heck I got through the other side. I mean, there's been a lot of you know, girls that I've even spoken to, and even some men that go, I can't imagine not throwing up. Like, the fact that you can tell me that it's possible, whoa, that gives me hope.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's somebody out there that's self-harming themselves that are thinking,
Now I've gone like a long time without anything like that. So
Do you remember how you were able to finally stop?
I just had enough. I just really had enough. I don't want to have to explain this to my mom ever again, you know, because it breaks her heart, you know. So yeah, but I'm proud of my scars now, and I used to lie so much. I would come up with all kinds of stories. Oh, I fell through a glass table, and there's a glass bottle like got broken, and I fell. And no, it was all lies, and I'm sorry to anyone I lied to, but I was so ashamed.
Well, you were. It wasn't malicious. You were trying to process the whole thing.
Yeah.
And yeah,
and it would just be like out of anger and just such deep hurt that I wouldn't even realize what I would be doing, and like I nearly lost my life over it. It was pretty bad. So, but
when it got, you mean one time when it really got bad?
I was really like just destructive and just ready to go, like just ready. And like eventually I got to the point where I had to have 33 stitches in my arm. So if you can get through that and then not do it again, then just you can get through it.
Yeah.
So I just don't want anyone to feel like there's no hope, because it can get better. It really can.
Did you, when that happened, obviously you were in the hospital. So your mom is there.
No, I was alone.
You were alone.
Well, without family.
Yeah. Oh, that's a tough place to wake up and all of a sudden you're in the hospital and you're alone.
I had people in my life, just not family, where I needed family. I've always been so far away. But you know what, you can get through it. It can get so bad. It can really get bad. And you might feel like it's just done and you should give up, but nope, you can keep going. You live to fight another day.
Yeah. So my God, now it just makes it even more, the fact that these leaks happen. I can imagine where it took you.
Yeah, because the leaks were after this. So I had already been through like years of self-harm issues, depression, just going out of my mind, and then the leaks happened. So, yeah.
Okay. So like I said, we're almost at the year that the leaks happened.
Yeah.
You've processed it through this year. And then your career's doing great. Yeah. So people would think, oh, she's gotten through the troubles, there's no struggles. Like, what is still going on mentally? If your career is still going great, like what would there be anything to be depressed about?
I guess it's just the aftermath of everything. I just get really down. I just get really paranoid. Like, I just get a lot of anxiety, because I already had anxiety for just no reason in the first place. So, yeah, that still keeps happening.
Do you feel like you get anxious? Because you said it, wrestling is everything to you. So do you get anxious that something's going to happen, it's all going to go away?
All the time. I get anxious about everything. I'm just a stress head. Like I always have been from like a very young age. I got so much anxiety. But like I've learned to deal with it, and now it just kind of comes in waves, and sometimes I'm really good.
If somebody's out there that's very anxious all the time, what tools have you learned to do to get you through to the next day?
I think just reaching out has been my biggest thing. Like the worst like mindsets I get in is when I shut myself up completely and I don't reach out. I don't talk to anyone. I don't talk to my friends. I don't want to talk to my family. But I think the best thing I've done for myself is just talk. Just find some people you trust and just talk away, because I've been actually like quite surprised as to how helpful that can be. Like there's a lot of people out there that don't get it, but then there's a lot of people out there that really do. And it can feel great just to say everything,
That's why therapy is so good.
Yeah.
I talk to a therapist.
I
talk to him because, my God, I mean, especially the goals that I have and the things that I want to achieve and the things that I've already achieved, but then I'm like, well, is this it? Is this done? Or is it, so it's like this mind game too, because my career is so important, and oh my gosh, well now I'm not doing WWE full time, and so the transition was tough, and so it always helped to have somebody to bounce it off. And get a perspective.
Perspective is everything.
It's everything.
When you like just take yourself out and look at the big picture, it's like, okay, no, I can do it. It's fine.
Yeah, right. I made this little thing this big.
Yeah.
And there's a saying: "Stay in your head, you're dead."
Exactly. Yeah.
It's
really
so true.
Need to just say stuff. That's really good. Yeah.
Stay in your head, you're dead. So a lot of times I'll remind myself, I'm like, you're in your head. You're in your head.
Yeah. Get out of your head. Yeah.
This is not what you're creating a story. You're making up a story. Even now, with you like thinking, oh, what if this goes away and whatever. Yeah. You're making up a story, first of all, that it would go away. Always worst case scenario.
Most of the time, none of this stuff happens. Right. And when it does, we'll deal with it when it comes.
Exactly. And look what you got through.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned that you actually listened to Paige's episode of Chasing Glory when her sex tape leaked out.
She was like I look at what she went through, obviously a lot. Like, she had to deal with a lot more than I had to. But like, I see how confident she is and how successful she is, and I'm like, of course I can get through it. Like, I look at her and I'm like, thank God for her, Like, I've never even like been able to rack up the courage to actually tell her how much she means, because I'm like, no, I don't think if she had like gone through that and survived that and come out the other end as strong as she is, like, I don't know where I would be, because like she was a huge like motivation to be like, no, just keep getting up each day.
So you haven't met?
Oh, we've met, but I've never been able to be like, hey, about this, like, thanks, like, yeah.
And she's one of the ones that I'll tweet it out, we support Toni.
She was.
And great. She even said it. She goes, girl, as someone who's been through this, I know you can get through it and all of that. And
yeah, because I was like, oh, well, you know what? She's living, walking, talking proof that you can get through it. And you really can. Like, and I never thought I'd be able to say that. At the start of the year, I was like, I've had enough. I don't want to be here anymore. I just want to say goodbye. And I was nearly like that. But she's so strong. Like, she did it. And then I went and became NXT UK Women's Champion. Yes! You can do it. I'm still here. Like, I'm still here. I'm all right.
It's never as bad as you think.
Yeah. At first, I find that everything at first is just so bad, but then after a while, it's like, oh no. Now I'm at a point where I'm me and my friends will just make a joke out of it, and we'll just have a laugh. Yeah. And it can be really funny.
Okay. Now for her, you're right. For her, when I asked her what she learned out of this whole process, she said, I advise no one ever make a sex tape. And she said she was doing it because she was trying to please someone, and she goes, I was an idiot. Don't put yourself out there. Don't do it. What would you say? Same thing? Don't ever take naked photos of yourself and put it on your phone, or because it was private, it was your own private stuff.
Yeah, this was never actually hacked. The rumor is that it was hacked. No, I was silly enough to send stuff to a guy when I was like 18. Oh. It was years old, and he was not a nice person and decided to send it to all the boys, and I was the naive one that thought I could trust this person, and again, trust issues. But like, I think, like, obviously be careful with, you know, what you do and who you send it to, but also don't be ashamed. Like, don't be ashamed. We're all human. Yeah. We're all human at the end of the day. And believe it or not, everyone has sex and everyone takes pictures. So don't be ashamed. Like, because I felt really ashamed for a long time. So many people slut shamed me, and just I felt ashamed and disgusting and dirty and awful, and everywhere I went I felt like everyone was looking at me naked. I didn't even want to face friends. I was like, who's seen it? Who's just looked at that? Like, I didn't want to go out in the street. I didn't want to be anywhere. I literally just locked myself up and isolated myself. I wouldn't talk to anyone. Like, only very selected people I would let in. But don't be ashamed. That's all I can say to anyone that's gone through that, is being like slut shamed. Like, you're a human being at the end of the day, and like, just don't let anyone make you feel down about yourself, anything. Like,
I love this message. I love this message. This is great, especially when we're being ashamed for people that we don't even know. We don't even know.
Complete strangers,
Right? So it's like, okay, millions of people might think, oh, who cares? I don't even know you. Yeah. The people in my circle, they love me. They know who I am. They're for me. So, which is the same thing that we're trying to do even with social media. We're trying to impress so many people that we don't even know.
That's the thing. And that's like the pressure on young girls as well. They feel so inclined. I certainly did when I was 18, and I felt inclined that I had to be a certain way to impress people, and you know, I felt the pressure of that. I think a lot of girls do, but no one should ever be made to feel like they're a disgusting person for something like that. I really don't think it's not nice. It's not a nice place to be. And there are people out there that do actual horrible things, that do really shameful, horrible things. You know, like, this isn't. Okay. I'm a human being.
This is nothing. This is your body.
Yeah, I'm just
God made your body like this. So.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, well, just grow up. And we've all, we're all like this to stop. So,
All right, 2020. Here it comes.
Is going to be the best.
Yeah?
It's going to be the best because I've gotten past all the crap this year. And it's been awful and it's been a struggle. But, like, 2020, I'm like, no,
But what are the gifts you've gotten from it too?
Oh, I've made a lot of friends. I've realized that there are people out there that love me, and it's the best. Like, I've learned. I've really had to struggle in order to learn, and
to accept the love.
Yeah, and accept myself at the end, and just be okay with myself. And
Toni, do you know? I guess maybe I was going to say, do you know? But I don't think you know. From the moment I met you, I could see such a beautiful soul.
Oh, thank you.
You're not just beautiful outside. You literally are a beautiful soul.
Thank you.
You are.
You're the best.
No, seriously. So you have a lot to offer here, wrestling, but as a human being, now in a power position as being a superstar who can, in fact, touch people's lives. And this is your platform. This is your story. You've gone through a lot. But because you've gone through a lot, you're going to save a lot of people.
I really hope so. That's all that matters to me. Like, I just want other people to know it's okay. And they can...
Do you accept the love?
I do. I accept the love.
Good. Well, I want nothing but success for you, girl. I'm so excited to see what your continued chase for glory is going to look like. And, glory means very different to very many, different people. But for you... As we wrap this up, I would love to know, has your chase for glory looked the way you thought it was going to look?
Yeah, it's been pretty cool, actually. When you take in perspective, it's just like, one day I'm going to have a lot of stories to tell. So that's going to be the best part.
I mean, you always saw this in your vision. I'm going to be a wrestler.
Manifested it, yeah.
You manifested it.
Yeah.
And now, headlining WrestleMania is
gonna
is the
happen.
goal. Is the goal.
Yeah.
I want to announce that match.
Please.
I want to come back as a special
I beg
guest
of you.
ring announcer. Oh,
That would complete my life.
oh, that would be amazing. That's so sweet of you to say. No, that I'm just volunteering myself, but I love the fact that you're like, yes.
Got a job for you.
Okay, so let's make that happen. When that happens, you tell them, I want Lilian to ring announcer.
I will. And I will show them this
Oh my
podcast.
God. Right? That would be amazing.
I actually will.
It would be such an honor. Thank you. Tell everybody where to find you. Are you on social media again?
Yes, I am. I'm at Toni Storm _ on Twitter and Instagram.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you deleted it, but then you came back
Yeah.
and now.
I was like, you know what? Like, I'll do what I want, and I'm not going to let anyone ruin that for me.
I
No
love
complete
it.
strangers. That, yeah.
And I'm wishing whatever happens with your dad, like, just embrace.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
But you need to know before you even meet him, you are enough.
Yeah.
You are enough. He will be like a little bit of a icing on the cake maybe, but you're already the cake. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need him to complete you.
Yeah. That's the
Just know that.
biggest thing I've had to just learn this year, I think, is I'm enough.
You are enough. Look, I have that on my bracelet.
Oh.
Enough. You know what I want to do? I'm going to
Oh
give
no!
this to you.
Don't dare.
Yes,
Oh,
this
God,
is
thank
yours
you.
now. It says enough, and I want you to remind yourself every single day, you are enough.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
I love you. All right. Love you, honey.
Thank you. I needed this.
Chasing Glory with Lilian Garcia.
And there you have Toni Storm's journey of chasing glory. Whoa, what a story. Okay, I told you guys it was going to be very, very powerful. I also told you she was very vulnerable. Now you know what I'm talking about. It took a lot of guts for her to not only talk about what happened with all those pictures and how she felt about it and how she was already going through depression at that time, and so how hard it hit her, but then to finally admit that she had been cutting for so many years and it finally coming out, and now she feels good that she has released that and she doesn't care who knows. Toni, applause to you. You are a champion. You're amazing. You're so inspirational. Well, a huge thing that I feel that came out of this is the fact that if you guys listened to the episode a few weeks ago with Rhea Ripley, she talked about how she'd been cutting. Well, Toni now released that she'd been cutting. Those two have been friends for a while. They've worked at NXT UK, and yet they did not know about each other and that they had both been cutting all these years. I encourage them now to talk it through and to be there as a support for each other. My bottom line with this is, you guys never know. There are people right next to you that are suffering through the same thing you're suffering through. Speak up. Don't feel like you have to hold these things in. That's why I talk about how I was bulimic for so many years. We all have been through something. Speak up, be there for each other. And if you do find a friend that hasn't been through something that you have, it doesn't matter. They can still be a support for you. So allow that. Allow for somebody to be there so that you don't feel alone. Okay, now if you are self-harming yourself, I want you to please contact the crisis text line. All you have to do is write the word connect. Text the word connect to 741-741. That is going to get you access 24/7 to someone that will help you. You're not alone. Have I told you that enough? You're not alone. I really, really want this to ingrain in you so that you don't feel like you have to go this holiday season self-harming yourself. It is about coming together as family, and sometimes it's not even just the family that's around you. Your friends can be your family. We are all united in one way or another. So guys, this holiday season, I want it to be a joyful one for you. I want it to be a meaningful one for you. I want you to definitely look at yourself in the mirror and say, this is it. I will now start loving myself, and going into 2020 is going to be spectacular. spectacular. Okay, want to remind you that this is going to be the next to the last show. We have the last show next week, and then we're taking off for 2019. We're going to enjoy the holidays, and then we will be back the first Monday of 2020. Thanks again for following at Lilian Garcia on Instagram and Twitter, Lilian Garcia official fan page on Facebook, at Chasing Glory on Instagram, and of course, youtube.com/Lilian Garcia. As you guys know, I absolutely adore you. I care about you. You mean everything to me. So much peace, love, and passion to you. And remember to always be yourself and trust that it's enough. Mwah! Happy holidays.
Thanks for joining us here on Chasing Glory from executive producer Lilian Garcia. Don't forget to share this episode with your friends and be sure to subscribe at Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your favorite shows.